This week on the Steam Machine podcast, it looks like, what time is it? Oh, okay, it's roughly about 7:30. It must be getting dusk outside. Cue the music! Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Steam Machine podcast. My name is Dalton and I didn't come up with an intro this week. Joining me are my two good friends, the Destructo Bros.
What's up everybody, it's Nate.
Hey, it's Willie. How you doing?
Boys, what you been up to these past 2 weeks? Let's start with the working man. Willie, how you been, man, brother?
Oh man, I've been up to a lot. I've actually got a thought on my mind that I kind of wanted to bring up this week because this would be the week where it would become relevant. Is I kind of had this recent idea. This is going to sound a little silly. Everyone does New Year's resolutions, right? Everyone does their resolutions on January the 1st, build up to that. But I kind of had this idea of like, you know, summer, it's July the 1st is coming up soon. It's kind of the middle of the year, you got all the sun, the long days and all that. It's not winter. You're not dealing with all the holiday stress and all that. Wouldn't this be the better time of the year to begin a new project, really?
I can see it.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me.
So I've got a couple things I'm planning to start doing on January 1st. January. Nope, that's not the right one. Any Australian listeners, though, you're cool. Anyway, but on July 1st, like I'm thinking of starting a couple things I wanted to start doing, like as long-term projects, either like daily things or like, because I think that one of the reasons people fail on like New Year's resolutions so much is just because like it's just cold and miserable for a while, and there's not you don't have a lot of positive energy and feedback and all that in your life. So I'm thinking starting things in July might be fun. So I had two weird goals that I wanted to do. One of which is just a basic exercise thing. I don't really feel like getting into the exact details of it, but basically, you know, do certain exercise, blah, 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 blah. The other idea I had was a stupid thing that I thought would be fun to do, which is I've been wanting to get better at chess, and I think that one good way I could get better at chess would be to just play more competitive games against real people online instead of playing, you know, mainly when I play chess these days, it's just watching amusing videos instead of playing the game, or playing against little, like, easy-to-beat bots and stunting on them, or just doing puzzles. So I think playing against real people would be fun. And I thought a fun thing to do would be, a way to make sure I play enough games would be to, on chess.com, the people you play against come from all over the world. Like, you run into people from different countries all the time. And I think it would be fun to try to beat people from 100 different countries by the end of the year.
All right.
So try to take the scalps of 100 nations.
That'd be cool. That's a hell of a high number, though, dog. You think you can do 100?
I mean, I can win 100 games.
Oh, I know
that.
You're one of the better chess players I know, but...
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it's 180 days, and there are approximately 197 countries in the world, depending on how you count them. I'm going to go by basically the same ruling that, like, Sporkle uses to define countries. So, like, England and Scotland don't count as separate countries. You know, Iceland is part of, Greenland is part of Denmark, that kind of thing.
Don't say Iceland is, they'll get mad.
I know, Iceland is a country. Iceland is an actual country. I think the Faroe Islands are part of Iceland, right? So Faroe Islands doesn't count as a country. So I'm not going by like ham radio rules where there's like a million different entities. It's more like, you know, sovereign nations that are completely self-governed.
Let me know when you beat somebody from the Vatican City, because I want you to stun on the Pope.
That would be so cool. That does count. That one literally counts. I want to kill someone from a micronation. I want to beat someone from like Liechtenstein or Andorra or something like that. San Marino, Vatican.
Cyprus.
This a motherfucker beat me. Gotta smite him. He is a cook in a something.
Argentinian?
Oh fuck, I don't know. I think of Italian.
Argentinian.
When I think of the Pope, I think of Italians for some reason.
Argentina, where Super Mario is from.
Oh, you mean Chris Pratt? Hey guys,
What the fuck
it's
matter with
me.
you?
Oh.
I'm the Pope.
It's a me.
Ugh.
Popio.
I was starting to get a little bit Duke Nukem. It's me, Mario.
Hey,
Time to kick ass and eat mushrooms, and I'm all out of shrooms.
I'm all out of shrooms. And I'm seeing all kinds of weird stuff. Dude, randomly, you mentioned Duke Nukem. I have a memory from my childhood. I think it was Duke Nukem Time to Kill. So it was one of the third-person shooters on the PlayStation 1. You would just, in the subway, go up to a payphone that was ringing and answer it, and it's just a girl moaning. And Duke goes, "Oh, Sarah, is that you?" And that's just always, I don't know why, but like, I guess because I saw it as a kid, I just thought it was absolutely hilarious. But that he recognized her by her, "Ooh, Sarah." And I just love Duke Nukem's voice, and I like doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Duke Nukem, you can't talk about Duke Nukem right now without mentioning the Discord, because it's getting a little bit crazy in there. So, like,
I love it.
In our fan picked poll, like right now, there's a heated battle between 2 of the 5 selections. Fear and Duke Nukem Forever are like neck and neck fighting it out. And we have champions for Duke Nukem coming out and being the most ridiculous people possible, like Master Loot and Dane especially. Like,
Dude.
Dane's found some kind of crazy AI thing that does this amazing Duke Nukem voice and animates his face and everything. He's just calling people out by name in the voice of Duke Nukem.
Dude, listening to Duke say Jeff's whole fucking nickname was tremendous. And then fucking Master Loot changing his name to Master Nukem.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Master Loot.
Yeah, Master Lootem. He did change it to Master Nukem at first, and then he changed it to Master Lootem. And I'm just like, dude, I don't understand how people aren't changing their votes. They have made such a strong case.
And then Master
Jeff the other day is like,
video with the Forrest Gump.
Oh yeah, that one was insanely good.
Like, they're popping off in the Discord. Y'all need to join it. That is bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all caps. Like, get in on it.
yeah, absolutely.
It's
Please
been
come join.
Some of the most fun I've had in there in a while, and I always have fun there.
Yeah, I actually told Brandy today, I said, next time I come see you, I have to show you these fucking clips they're posted in Discord because they are hilarious. Because she was cracking up the other day when somebody on the Discord was commenting about me wanting to be happy at work, and they're wanting to see me happy at work, and how that conversation went from being really sweet to then just the normal depravity of our Discord. And, oh, glorious. I love everyone in there. bit.ly/TSMB Discord, all caps. Come join and vote. Make your vote matter.
Yeah, do you want us to play Duke Nukem Forever or Fear or one of the other 3 games that have no votes?
Yeah, it's incredible that heat picked up between those 2 and everyone changed their votes. None of the other, they're like, well, they're not going to win. So, and Jeff mentioned that he doesn't want to vote for Duke Nukem because he doesn't want to hear us shit on a game for an hour or whatever. And I was like, dude, for one, I think you or you don't understand how much I love Duke Nukem. Even if the game is awful, like, I'm still going to laugh at it because hail to the king, baby.
Yeah, this isn't Manhattan Project.
Yeah, Manhattan Project was garbage. This is at least a semblance of a Duke Nukem game. And I don't know.
Even if it's terrible, I think I'm going to enjoy how bad it is. Because, like, this game was a famous mistake. So, you know.
It's like playing Daikatana.
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot in common to those games. I feel like that's something we'd have to talk about if we do the episode. So,
but here's the big kicker to me. Okay, this fucking poll has some bangers on it that have no votes. Like Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl, no votes. Max Payne, no votes. Horizon Zero Dawn, no votes. Duke Nukem, 6 votes, and Fear 7.
I'm really surprised that freaking Max Payne doesn't, because, like, Max Payne and Stalker are definitely ones we've also really wanted to do for a while too. And, like, I don't know, like, I feel like this one's almost a can't lose one. You know, I'm gonna be happy anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because
there's only one that I actually don't really want to play on that list.
Yeah, no, neither do you want to play Horizon.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
Well, don't tell them on the air, or people are going to start wanting to vote for it.
No, then our listeners aren't that mean.
Have you met Jeff?
Well, no, it's just I don't think it's that interesting sounding compared to the others. You know, I would definitely there's just it feels like to me AAA game, story driven, and probably is an interesting story, but
the story is really good.
Just like
I will give you that.
And the setting seems pretty cool too. I'm not like saying it seems absolutely trash. I'm just saying like it kind of seems. It feels like very much something I would see a trailer for and be like, okay, Sony, you have a video game. That's neat. And then just not ever play it.
Yeah. And it got, God, it came out and got overshadowed by something. I don't remember what it was. I think it was Breath of the Wild or something like that. And then when Horizon 2 came out, like, I think God of War Ragnarok came out at the same time or something and just overshadowed it again. I'm like, goddamn, no, they can't win. But no, I wholly agree that we will probably get a far more interesting episode out of any of the other choices. But for, one day, if we want to, if it comes up and we play it, the story is good. The gameplay does get a little repetitive, but it's beautiful and it's got a good tale to it.
Word. So back to where we were before the derail. Willie, do you have anything else?
Yeah.
Like, what have I been up to? I don't know. I think that was basically it, Just I wanted to kind of float that half-year resolution concept because I thought it was a fun idea.
I think it is. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, for sure. Then what about you, Nate?
Yeah. I don't have anything prepared for half-year resolutions because that's a new concept. So, hasn't been too tremendously exciting of a 2 weeks. I will say that a lot of Sonic stuff happened. Like the second Sonic Frontiers update came out, which is the Sonic Birthday Bash, which they added a lot of new content. One of my favorite things, I think it came from this update that they added to it, was being able to go back and replay the islands you've already played on the same save file. I'm like, thank God, because that was so annoying that they couldn't do that before.
That seems like a weird thing to not include.
Yeah, I can't say I understand it, but hey, it's there now, so I'm a happy boy.
Yeah, actually, part of the reason I don't think I ever finished the game was I kind of got really annoyed when I left the first island, and it was like, oh, you can't go back ever again, by the way.
So you could now, so that's kind of cool.
That is nice.
And then the other one that Sonic and things came out was the, the Sonic Origins Plus DLC came out, so I ordered a physical copy. I pre-ordered this a while ago, and I kind of forgot it was coming out, honestly. So I got it in the mail, and I was like, hell yeah. And so I started playing that, and the big deal with this one is they've added 16, or it's 12, I think it's 12, sorry, not 16, 12 Game Gear titles to the game. So now you can play 12 of the old Sonic Game Gear games. And have added Amy Rose as a playable character in the first 4 Sonic games, Sonic 1, 2, CD, and 3 and Knuckles. So like now you can play as Amy in those games, which really fun. So far, I've played that a lot. Like, I've already beaten Sonic 1 as Knuckles, because you can do that too. I've beaten Sonic 2 as Amy. And then I finally, for the first time ever, have beaten Sonic CD as Sonic. So...
Oh, congrats.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so pretty cool stuff.
Get down on that Sonic 2 for Game Gear, dog. That was the one I grew up on.
I will try it for sure.
Just if you get past the minecart level, congratulations, you got further than I ever did.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool stuff that came out. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've been up to these last couple of weeks. It's been really freaking hot. Like, my air conditioner is not being able to keep up with the heat in the middle of the day. And it's just been like...
Same here, dog.
Like, please make it stop.
I thought it was warm in here today when I came home on lunch and I went and looked at the thermostat. And it was 79 degrees in my house. And the thermostat was set to 73. And I was like, geez.
See, I'm complaining because my thermostat's at like 76 and I have it set to 69. So...
Yeah. It's like, dude, just please cool off a little.
Yeah. Because I'm funny and I'm an adult that owns his own house. So my thermostat's always set at 69.
Nice. Nice. Let's see. I don't remember what happened on it or anything, but wasn't there a Nintendo Direct in the last 2 weeks? I think Pikmin 4.
Yeah.
And I think that was when they announced one of the new Sonic things, right?
I think we talked about it, didn't we? Because I think I remember talking to you guys about Super Mario Wonder and...
I believe we did, now that you're mentioning that. Okay. Then, shit, what have I been up to? Work? Work, hanging out with Brandy. I beat Hogwarts Legacy. I rolled
Congrats.
I'll say I quote rolled credits. I didn't know because I beat the main story and there's just a whole bunch of other shit to do now. But I uninstalled it for now to make room for Shadow of Mordor. And
okay, I'm a liar. The Nintendo Direct was on the 21st, so we have not discussed that on the show.
You son of a bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Well, in that case, they announced the new Dragon Warrior Monsters mainline game is coming to the Americas. So
yeah, dude, I'm super excited about that. That looks great.
What is Dragon Quest Monsters? Like, I've never actually
Dragon Quest Pokemon.
It's what it sounds like, dude.
Oh,
it's
okay. I thought maybe you played as the monsters, but okay.
It's just Dragon Quest Pokemon.
No, you're like a monster tamer, basically.
That sounds awesome.
Hell yeah!
Consider me stoked for that.
Yeah, and so I guess.
Go
ahead.
That Star Ocean remake. That Star Ocean, the second story. Dude, I am so fucking hyped for that. And it's coming to PC, and that art style. I don't know what it is about the beautiful 3D backgrounds with the 2D sprites. Looks so cool to me. And so the original gimmick with that game on the PlayStation 1 was that game's got like 80-something endings, depending on who you get in your party and what you do throughout the game. So that's one that if we did for the show, it is very possible that all three of us would see a variation of a different ending.
That's cool.
Which I just think's cool. You know?
Yeah. So some other news from that Direct was the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 is coming to Switch, which seems like a really good way to play that. They did not say it was a cloud gaming one, so I think this one is an actual real game.
And note the Volume 1. And
yeah, that's the thing that I'm really interested in, because given what all they put into Volume 1, there's only a couple things that would even fit into Volume 2.
I have read the rumors are that Volume 2 is Metal Gear 4, Metal Gear 5, Revengeance, and Peace Walker, I believe was the other one, which was one of the PSP games. And I'm like, dude, just please give me 4. So I can play it.
That'd be awesome.
I haven't played that since PS3. It's been years. I will never forget playing Metal Gear 4, and me and my buddy Dustin got to the end of the game, and we're watching the cutscene, and we rolled a blunt, and we went outside, and we smoked that entire blunt. We came back inside. Cutscene went on for another 40 minutes. It's like the ending.
We've been Kojimed.
The whole ending of Metal Gear is pretty much a movie.
Yeah.
But masterful storytelling. But oh boy, what a long fucking cutscene.
Yeah, dude, that's exciting. I'm glad that the Batman Arkham trilogy is coming to Switch as well, which also not cloud based, which is good news.
Dude, if you own a Switch and you've never played the Arkham games, do yourself a favor and pick that up.
Yeah, big recommend. I will recommend that you have a Pro controller and you do not try to play that on Joy-Cons. So.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, yeah.
Another one is a new Detective Pikachu game is coming out for the Switch.
Oh, that's cool. I've never played one of those, but like I've heard people say that they're fun.
Yeah. And then, of course, some of the stuff we heard earlier from these other big gaming things are coming out, like Persona 5 Tactica is going to come out on Switch. Sonic Superstar is going to come out on Switch. But some of the really big announcements that they had was there's going to be new DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So I'll probably pick that up at some point because I got to keep that Pokedex filled out, baby.
Yeah.
Pikmin 4 is going to come out on... Oh, is it out? I thought... Mate,
did Pikmin 4 come out?
I don't think so. I'm confused. But they did do
I'll Google it.
Pikmin 1, 2, and 3 onto Switch. And there's a collection so you can get them all as well. And then the two of the biggest announcements, other than the other ones, were there's a big JRPG remake coming out for the Nintendo Switch. And that is Super Mario RPG.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It It looks really neat. Like, they're doing such a fun mix of the styles where Mario kind of is the squirt little, almost off-model, like, looking guy like he was in Mario RPG, but then, like, some of the other characters look more like they're more recent incarnations and stuff. It looks really cool and charming. And, like, it's also one of those games that I kind of thought had been lost to some kind of weird copyright dispute type thing and would never really get remade, so... Like, I mean, although this is, any of your friends that were really big Geno and Smash guys, like, you can really rub it in on them now, because it's like, oh yeah, it was gonna happen, but, you know.
I would like to quickly throw in, Pikmin 4, according to Nintendo.com, releases July 21st.
Okay, I got confused about what month it was. This is the second time this has happened to me today. It's June, not July. My B.
The demo for Pikmin 4 comes out June 28th. So as you're listening to this, it will be available.
And
excellent.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But that Super Mario RPG, I brought it up to Jeremy because Jeremy loves that original game. And he said he doesn't like the art style that they went with. And I was like, really? I thought it looked cute as hell. He's like, I don't know, man. It's just missing something. And I'm like, you're just a villain.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I feel like they gave it some character to it. Like, Mario doesn't just look like the standard Super Mario, new Super Mario U model. So I always like it when the models are a little different. And Mallow looks so cute. I love Mallow. Mallow's my favorite character from Super Mario RPG.
Oh yeah, Mallow's dope.
So I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of the game personally, honestly, but I might pick that up if I'm feeling a little bored one day.
I feel like Mario RPG and the Paper Mario series I could eventually get really deep into, you know?
Well...
Because, like, considering how much I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to really care about Kingdom Hearts. I started playing Kingdom Hearts. I'm like, oh, I see now.
Yeah.
I get it. I feel like the Mario RPG, Paper Mario, and Mario and Luigi type games could do that to me, too.
The only thing that I hear about Paper Mario is that the first one is incredible. Thousand Year Door is incredible. And then... they kind of fall off after that because they started kind of changing the game style and it's not so much an RPG anymore. And so I don't know. But I mean, to me, the way Paper Mario looks could carry me through a bunch of games because it's just so aesthetically cute.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And then, unless I'm missing any of the last big announcement that I remember from the Nintendo Direct was Super Mario Brothers Wonder. They're releasing a new 2D Mario game that's like, and I'm just like, man, I'm eating so good right now because there's a new 2D Mario, a new 2D Sonic coming out, both in the fall of 2023. I'm going to have a really good birthday.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. That I thought about you like when they were talking about Sonic and then they mentioned the Mario stuff too. And I mean, I thought that you liked Super Mario RPG more until you had mentioned that, you know, you didn't quite love it as much as some other people had hyped it up. But that goes back to some of those old games get hyped up so hard that they're never going to live up to it. It's why I don't play Earthbound. I think that's why you don't play Earthbound.
I haven't played Earthbound either. Because like I've felt that in a few games. Like the only game I feel like that has lived up close to the hype for me has been Chrono Trigger.
I feel like one of those things too is like, it's easier to revisit them if you actually end up finding your hook somewhere else in the series too. Like, I would never have enjoyed the first Zelda or the first Metroid if I didn't play later games in the series and then gone back to them. Because, like, as kids, they were super hyped because they were really expansive for NES cards. But I didn't enjoy them because there were some real quality of life things missing. Yeah. But, you know, then you go back to them after playing the later games and you're willing to overlook those flaws because it's like, hey, this is where it all came from. This is where they were pushing the boundaries, and it's an interesting game, and it is good in its own right too.
Especially Metroid is one that really stands out to me as an example of that because like that was a game that we had always as a kid, but I never beat. I got kind of into Metroid like last year or the year before, something like that, with Metroid Dread and played through Super Metroid again, and I even played through Metroid Fusion again, and I was like, man, I should play through Metroid at this point. And I was still streaming at the time, and I actually beat Metroid for the first time ever. And I was like, that was actually really fun.
Yeah, it's a really good game. It's just, it is Nintendo old school, non-handholdy. It's a little cryptic. You are expected to find things that in today's standards would be secrets that would not progress the game.
controversial opinion that I think we've even talked about before, and I know both of you agree with me. People hype up Final Fantasy VI so hard, and while it's a fun game for a while, then to me it was like every time I loaded it up to play that game, it was just sadness and bad things happening and sadness, and then they'd be like, okay, we're gonna do some more sadness. And I'm like, fuck, I'm already depressed. Like, I'm good. And then like I went and immediately bought Rhapsody, a musical adventure. It's like this old school, really like heartwarming RPG game, and I haven't played it yet, but I bought that to like make myself feel better. I'm like, next time I want to play a classic RPG style game, I'm playing that instead of like Final Fantasy VI or something. But I've heard
speaking of classic RPGs, good, man,
I don't know. I haven't played them.
I've seen people talking about Trails recently in a forum thread I read, and people were basically saying they were like, I really wish I could just erase my memory and play Trails in the Sky SC for the first time. And I'm like, oh shit, that's our next game in the series. Why is SC that? I want to know, because like FC was really good. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but like, is SC this incredible to where it's like going to be a mind blowing game?
Well, Master Loot, going back to Master Loot, has been like, what are y'all playing next, and why is it not Trails SC? And then over in the JRPG Report Discord, I'll get tags every now and then like, you guys play Trails SC yet? They cannot believe, over in that Discord, they cannot believe that our next game after FC wasn't SC. They were like, even James, he's like, how did y'all see the ending of that first game and not immediately be like, fuck, what's going on? I'm like, here's the thing. We were all like, fuck, what's going to happen next? But that's not the way the show works. Like, yeah. I was like, we could have made an overrule, but now it's like, it's letting it build. When we get to SC, it's going to be so good. And we're playing it this year. Yeah. Like, that is my guarantee.
Come on, we joked about, this podcast could have turned into the Yakuza Trails podcast. Like,
yeah, it really could have.
We're so trying not to make that happen.
That'd have been very easy to do. Hey there, you wonderful listeners. I have a question for you. Do you want to make a podcast? Well, Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily and then distribute it everywhere and even earn money all in one place and for free. How can you beat that? It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here is how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify. And when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, there are Q&A and poll options available, and those are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free with no catch. Ever since I've discovered Spotify for Podcasters, it has made doing my shows like the Steam Machine Podcast, Yabs Pod, and the JRPG Report much, much easier to do. Like, being able to just go on there, record them, upload it, boom, it's done. I don't have to pay for a site service to host or anything like that. It's fantastic. So I highly recommend that you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started today. And then here soon, it'd be very easy to make it the Yakuza Trails Persona podcast now that all the Persona games are coming out on PC. But
well, shit.
One of those has already been played for the show. I don't necessarily feel like I need to hit you guys with a revisit for 4. But at the end of the year, we'll do 5. But that 3 remake looks real nice. It looks real nice, and it's not nearly as long as 5.
Yay.
Yeah. Dude, Jeremy.
3 was definitely the first one I noticed.
So Jeremy's messaging me last night, and he's like, dude, I got to tell you something. And you're not going to like hearing it. And I'm immediately like, are you fucking my ex-girlfriend? Dude, just tell me, what is it? He's like, dude, Persona 5 is way too fucking long. And I said to him, I was like, I'm not going to hate. I'm not upset by that. I do not disagree. That is a long game. The story payoff in the end was worth it, but it is a long game. Like, there could have been sections that didn't need to exist. There were a couple sections that didn't need to exist.
I have opinions, but I will save them for our Persona 5 episode.
Yeah, for sure. But I told Jeremy because he's been hammering at it, throughout the year.
Oh, he's probably way further ahead than me at this point, honestly.
He's getting there. He's more than halfway through it.
Yeah, he's definitely ahead of me.
He's further than I am. Yeah. But yeah. Damn, was there one other thing I did this week? Oh, boys, how did I not I just did this last night. How did I not mention that? But I released a new album.
Yeah, he did.
That's right. Yeah.
And this one actually has lyrics. If I make a CD or if I make an album cover for it, I want to put some of the, how they do reviews for movies? I want to put some of the reviews that I've gotten from people who've listened to it. Like, Willie, this is a very horny song, - Willie. And then, just shit like that, 5 stars, boner, whatever the fuck. But yeah, it's called The Longing. You can find it at nowthenightmare.bandcamp.com. It is 5 songs, $4, or whatever you want. I do click the option that if you want to pay more, you can. That's fine. But yeah, I had a lot of fun putting it together. It took some inspiration. I've been having some things lately that have been kind of inspiring that type of flow. And just the way that I kind of wanted to. Yes, Willie, lots of jerking. But no, I just wanted to get it out, and I felt like making music again, which I haven't felt like in a while. And I actually got a message from somebody I didn't expect to get a message from when I posted the new album out there, and she was like, "I am very happy to see that you're making music again." And
that's awesome.
So it was nice of her because she didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it was like 5 songs. It's good music to just chill and listen to. You can make babies to it if you want, or you can just drive down the road, whatever you want to do. nowthenightmare.bandcamp.com. It's called The Longing. Check it out.
Drive your babies down the road,
Motherfucker, you about just made me spit Diet Pepsi everywhere.
Damn it, Bobby, you almost made me spill beer.
He almost peps his keyboard, dude.
2 of my favorite King of the Hill jokes, and then we can go into our O-dubs. 1, actually 3. So when Hank's poking the steak, and he's like, perfectly medium rare. This is how a steak's done, Bobby. And Bobby goes, what if somebody wants well done, Dad? He's like, well, then you tell them politely but firmly to leave. Which is tremendous. Then there's the one where Bobby comes home with his report card and Hank looks at it. A D in English? Bobby, you speak English. And then there's an episode where Hank is telling Bobby about gun safety. And he says, Bobby, guns are dangerous. And you hear, what was that? And here come over Dale and and Bill and Boomhauer. And Dale's talking about how you sound like the government talking about guns are dangerous and all this kind of stuff. Or you sound like them liberals or whatever, however he put it. And Hank goes off on Dale. Just talking about, I don't want my son to be holding a firearm and could possibly hurt somebody or kill someone and everything. And Dale, I know you're a member of that NRA, the National Rifle Association. You know that is a government-sanctioned organization. So are you trying to tell me, Dale Gribble, that you support the government? And Dale just standing there and takes a long drag on his cigarette. He goes, whew, now that's a thinker. It's just so good. I fucking love that show. So shout out to King of the Hill.
Oh, word, yeah. I think someone recently posted a screen cap of of their summary of Phoenix, Arizona, which is my favorite joke of the show.
I don't know if I know that.
It was something along the lines of, they get out of the car and it's just incredibly hot. This city should not exist. This is the hubris of man.
Oh, yeah, okay, I do remember seeing that meme. Okay, yeah. And it is, dude. It's just, from what I hear, Phoenix is hot as fuck. Dry heat, though. It ain't like down here in Florida where you get swamp ass when you walk outside.
Yeah.
There you just get dust balls. Anyway, so let's talk about the game that we played for these past 2 weeks, gentlemen. So let's get into the obligatory. What was it? Obligatory Wikipedia. oh, how the fuck did I fuck it up last time? And we were like, we're running with it. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. The obligatory Wikipedia bullshit.
Did you just fuck up fucking it up?
I did. I am that big of a fuck up, Willie. I fuck up fuck ups.
We're on that second degree stuff.
You can't fuck up a fuck upper. What? I don't know. We played Dusk, and Dusk, stylized in all caps as Dusk, is a 2018 boomer shooter created by American developer David Szymanski?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, there's an errant Russian Z in there. I mean,
Polish.
Damn. One of those Eastern European countries. And published by New Blood Interactive for Microsoft Windows, Mac OS, Linux, and the Nintendo Switch. Okay, that last one surprises me a little bit.
The Switch one took a long time to come out. It actually just came out in the last year or so.
Okay. Did they have to like tone down the violence or anything for the Switch?
No, they had a lot of technical difficulties getting it working.
Okay. Nintendo does not give a shit like they used to about that stuff.
I was just about to say, and now that as soon as I said that, I was like, wait a minute, they released Wolfenstein, like the newer Wolfenstein games on Switch, I think. So, the game is produced by David Oshry, who previously directed or co-directed the 2013 remake of Rise of the Triad. So a little bit about Dusk, and then we can jump into our first thoughts and everything. Dusk takes place in and around a fictitious rural town called Dusk, Pennsylvania. A huge network of Lovecraftian ruins is discovered underneath a section of farmland, which attracts the attention of the government. Military personnel and scientists establish research labs and factories in the town to attempt to harness the magic of the ruins. Much of the research team soon fall victim to a series of demonic possessions and industrial disasters, which force the remnants of the team out of the town. A large perimeter wall was built around the town, sealing it off from the outside world. You, the player, take the role of a nameless treasure hunter. People on the internet have come to call him Dusk Dude, who has heard rumors that hidden riches exist within the sealed town. The treasure hunter is apprehended by the town's denizens, brought to a secluded farmhouse, and made to squeal like a pig. And by that I mean he was impaled on a meat hook.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what they call it these days. So, Willie, this was your host pick, my good sir. So, what made you pick this? What made it jump out to you as opposed to your other choices?
Well, to be honest, this is a game I've been curious about for a while, and I did acquire it in a itch.io had a boomer shooter bundle, or maybe it was actually, I think it was Humble, not Itch, but one of them had something they called a boomer shooter bundle that included this game and several other ones that I was really interested in, like a Medieval, Ion Fury. I think I might still have this open in such a way that I could look at it real quick. Had those games. It had Dread Templar, Hellbound, HROT, and Project Warlock. And I just kind of picked one at random. I was like looking through them, and I liked how like Quake-ish this one looked, and I just started playing it. And I played through the first episode. This all happened about 2 months ago. And I was like, you know what? I would like to cover this for the show, so I quit playing it at that point and started considering just buying it for Nate and being like, hey, Nate, we should play this at some point. And then I realized, it's my show pick.
Well, thank you for including me.
We've done long games. Well, that's the thing. I was going to get it for Nate just like as a thing to do with him or whatever. Be like, hey, let's play this old boomer shooter. Now I realized, hey, we could do it for the show. Nice. That'd be even more fun. So I did. Yeah,
and we actually did get to chat out the multiplayer, which we can touch on later.
Hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Which I was happy about. Hell yeah.
We're not stealing other podcast bits. We already have like a third of our audience comes from there. We don't need to use their jokes.
You're right. They get hell yeah. We should have fucking right.
That's terrible.
or they say, or we could do raise hail, praise Dale.
That's better.
I do like that. I do like that. Strangely, that one does please me. I'm not going to do it, but it pleases me.
I've had that thought watching porn before. I wouldn't do it, but this pleases me, right? Oh, anyway.
Looks painful. Good for them.
Good for them. Oh, man. So, your opening thoughts were just it was Quake-like, or did you have a bit more you wanted to get into as far as like when you first loaded it up and started playing it?
Well, the very first thing that happens when you load it up is it does this fake MS-DOS startup screen,
So
which
cool.
I feel like one of you guys wanted to cover.
So cool. I loved it. I have a screenshot of it. I can actually read it.
Yeah.
Let me pull that up real quick if you guys want to vamp for just a quick second. Or actually truncate silence. I'll just keep talking.
I know. You're fucking up everything. We're not vamping or truncating
really.
silence. You're just making noises.
Loud noises. All right, here we go.
This is a professional podcast done by podcasting professionals.
So it pops up and says, fake DOS 6.66 activated. Which, tonight at work, when they did the final count, our final count came up to $666, and Kayla just didn't like that, so she tossed one of her pennies in there, so it would make it she took a penny out and added $1 or some weird thing, so it wasn't 666, and I'm like, you're ridiculous. Anyway, fake DOS 6.66 activated. C, games, Doom clones, DUSK /DUSK ESC loading. Initializing 3D render. So it does the whole boot up, loading weapons, loading monsters, loading lights, loading sounds, loading particles, loading gibs, loading blows, loading levels. Okay. And I just love that it says okay in there. It's just like load success. What is gibs?
Jibs, it's the shit that goes splorch, the big bloody meaty chunks flying off of enemies.
Okay.
That's the good shit. The term was really highly popularized. The word jibs was first used in Doom, but I think Rise of the Triad highly popularized it because it had a violent setting called Ludicrous Jibs, which just caused everything to blow up so big when you hit it with a rocket.
I think we need to find the person who created that and ask them if it's jibs or gibs.
It is jibs. It's short for giblet. It comes from giblet.
Oh, giblets? Okay.
Yeah, it has been asked. I said Gibbs when I was a kid too, and unlike the GIF versus GIF thing, I do actually stand hard on Team Jibs on this one.
No, it makes sense. I love the thing where it's like, oh, you call it a GIF? And they're like, oh, okay, so why don't you just call them... And he's like, no, dude, it's GIF. He's like, oh, word, you going to write a graph? He starts going off on all these things like, well, it's GIF. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I love our graphical...
The good Lord tells me that's pronounced...
Our graphical user...
The good Lord comes out and tells me it's pronounced with a J. I will tell him, thanks, Jod.
Yeah, thanks, Jod. But yeah.
Nate, sorry, we both tried for the joke at the same time, and I think I did it a little louder. What was your graphical issue?
Just doing the graphics thing.
Graphics, yes.
This game has great graphics.
Great graphics.
Drake graphics.
Drake?
Drake draft. New world champion. Drake traffic. That's J-E.
Wasn't that the Toys R Us mascot?
Oh my God. Nate, what was your first opening opinion on loading this game up?
Yeah, I thought it was really freaking cool. Because like you said, the fake DOS thing load up is really neat. And then once you just load into E1, M1, you're just dropped in the middle of it. All you have is these two sides of your hands, and these three chainsaw dudes just start chasing you, and you're just like dip, dodge, dive, duck, and dodging them, trying to hit them with your sides and take them out before they take you out. I thought that was a really good, kind of intense intro into the game. And that whole first level is just you trying to escape this hellish cabin in the woods danger house that they've put you in, and it's just really cool. And then because that's the first enemy you're introduced to is that chainsaw guy, and then you meet the cultists who have nice white robes and a hood. So you didn't feel bad killing them at all.
Dude, that fucking cosplay that you sent to the host chat, I was like, what? Dude just made a KKK outfit and is like, best cosplay.
Yeah, there were so many comments on that was like, do not wear that outside in America.
Yeah, no. Bro, I don't know where you're from, but yeah, don't do that. You'll get beat up.
If you must cosplay a Dusk cultist, please do the chainsaw guy.
Or the Scarecrow. Or anything other than that guy.
Yeah. But yeah, it was like I said, really good intro. I felt really put you in the headspace of the rest of the game. And I like this graphical style that is very outdated. It's very polygonal. It harkens back to old school Quake, like we kind of mentioned a little bit before. Yeah. And it just really works with what this game is trying to do.
And it's kind of like the same way to me with like pre-rendered graphics as backgrounds and stuff. You're able to do so much more with it because your game's not trying to load in actual assets for every little thing, even the things that you can't see. You know what I mean? And that's with pre-rendered. Now with Dusk, the fact that it's so scaled down is probably why that game runs smooth as shit. I didn't feel one frame drop the entire time that I played. You know what I mean? And there are some, like, as much as I love Hogwarts Legacy, I got some frame dips in there every now and then just because it was strenuous on my system. You know what I mean? Yeah. But with that, you know, classic, I'll call it classic graphical style where it's much more harsh looking, to me, you can add more and you could fill your levels with as much detail as you wanted because it's not going to strain modern systems, you know? Yeah. So not that they put a ton in there in this game, but just the fact that they just like are able to like add little beers that you can quaff, or the soap was hilarious that you just find around. There's just little things like that I don't know, just added to it to me. And just, I was so impressed with how smooth it ran. And I think that's probably partly due to the graphics. That's all.
Yeah, but I mean, there are definitely games like Bolt Gun is like a retro shooter that's come out very recently too, that kind of famously has really high technical requirements because it's just putting shaders on top of a more modern rendering engine. This game, like, they built it up to it does run this like crispy stuff on purpose, and it does run really well. Like, I did not realize when I was playing it that I usually had left like 5 idle games running in the background in various browser windows because it just ran perfectly anyway.
Yeah, and I can tell you, those idle games Willie leaves open really does fuck with his gameplay sometimes when we're playing online games.
Oh, yeah.
Browsers are incredibly resource heavy for some reason.
Especially when they're just constantly running random math. So what about you, Dalton? What was your first impression?
So I loaded into it and immediately was delighted that I had 2 sickles. 2 sickles as my weapons. Other than that, I didn't enjoy, and this is just me, I did not enjoy how fast that you moved. But you guys let me know that I could turn the auto run off, and I was immediately 100% more into the game because I think we talked about it before. When I'm moving too fast, it's just hard for me to see what's going on. You know what I mean? It's just the way my brain
the movement in this game is very much parallel to Quake, and you also said in Quake 1 that you felt like a lot better once you manually had run instead of auto run or a toggle.
Yeah, because I felt like I had more control over it. I was able to. When I wanted to move fast, I could move fast instead of trying to hold shift every time I wanted to slow down. I'd much rather have that where I hold shift when I just want to book it.
We can't all be Sonic the Hedgehog, Dalton. It's okay.
I know. As much as I try, despite all my rage, I'm still just Knuckles in a cage. I'm no Sonic. I will say that one of the first things that jumped out to me was the guns, and like the pistol in particular. I don't know why I love the sound of the pistol. They did really good on the sounds of the weapons and stuff. But
it has this like kind of reverby echo to it that sounds like you're shooting like a powerful weapon and not just like a ding, ding, ding,
yeah,
ding, ding
exactly
pistol like a lot of these FPS games have.
And I feel like the pistol in Dusk actually does some work, whereas like some games you get that starting pistol is just garbage. But I actually, like when I would run out of ammo and I had a full stack of pistol ammo, I would actually use my pistol. Now granted, some of the enemies later on take way more, but at first, the first few enemies and stuff, I didn't feel like anyone was a bullet sponge, which was nice.
I would say there's only...
I think the game is really fair about the amount of bullets it takes to take down an enemy. And like one thing that's really interesting about this game too, and it differs from games like Doom, is like the pistol has its own unique set of ammo, whereas like Doom, it shares its ammo with the chain gun. The chain gun kind of... Equivalent, thank you. The chain gun equivalent in this game uses different ammo. So it's like, it gives you a reason to actually hold on to that pistol and go back to it.
Yeah, because it's not obsolete due to something else. Yeah. I
would say none of the weapons feel like they fully obsoleted, in part because the 2 lowest tier ammo using weapons also get dual versions.
Yeah.
So there are times when you would rather use dual. Can we talk about dual wielded shotguns for a second?
Yeah. Badass. Just, and then it didn't do anything, we learned, because it doesn't actually reload, but you hit R and you do the Terminator spin with him.
Oh, he also does the Terminator spin every time he shoots him. He shoots the right gun. Terminator spins that one while he's shooting the right one. Terminator 2 spins that one. Like, it looks so cool. And it, like, the moment I first pulled a second shotgun, and instead of draining the shotgun so I could, get ammo, I had 2 shotguns. I'm like, yes, this is a good shit. Yeah. This is my shit.
Because there is a super shotgun in this game too, but 9 times out of 10, I'd rather have those double shotguns because the super shotgun is extremely slow in this game.
Yeah.
The super shotgun is meaty, and I liked it against bosses and against dudes you can get up in the face of. But, oh boy, the super shotgun was rough against if you had to close distance against people,
Yeah, for sure. One of the times that I would always switch to my dual pistols is when I picked up that power up that made you shoot faster.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would pull out the pistols and just, because you had 200, 300 max ammo with those, dueling them. So I would just unload on them because
I couldn't tell. Did
just so
it
satisfying.
slow down time too? Because every time I grabbed that, I felt like Neo from the Matrix.
There is a separate power up that I think you might not have reached that does slow down time. There's a power called Blistering Heat that is literally super hot. Time only moves when you move.
That's cool.
That is cool. Full disclosure, I only got to E2 M2, I think, or M3. So anything we talk about after that, I'm going to leave it up to y'all.
I didn't get much further than that either, Dalton. I made E2 M5.
Oh, okay. And Will, you beat it, correct?
I played through the first episode 2 months ago, and then I played through the whole game on I Can Take It difficulty, which is the medium difficulty in this game, which is kind of I would say if it was Doom, it would be somewhere between Hurt Me Plenty and Ultraviolence. And then I started to replay doing Intruder mode on Cero Miedo difficulty, which is the hard mode where the enemies move faster, shoot faster, and you take more damage.
Like Cero Miedo? Like Cero Miedo?
Yeah, Cero Miedo.
Nice. Fucking sweet. Shout out the Pentagon.
Yeah, I love Penta, man. He's incredible.
What is Intruder mode? I kept seeing that.
Intruder mode is forced scythe start. Every time you start a new level, you just drop all your weapons and you're back to 2 sides again.
Oh, okay. So it's for masochists. I got you.
But I mean, the game is balanced, so it's possible to do it through all
there are some levels, especially like the one that I spent a lot of time on was called Into the Thresher, which was an incredibly great level, but for me, it was very, very hard. And I was like, man, I can't imagine trying to do this with the sickle start.
That's the level I got stuck on before we actually are recording now. That's the one I'm stuck on my gameplay through of Intruder mode. So, yeah, I could not get through that one. I got pretty close.
It's a great level, but it's a tough level.
Yeah.
I ended up having to knock the difficulty down 1. So whatever's underneath the medium. Because I went through an entire level kicking ass. Got to the final boss. It was the 2 Grand Wizards.
the Duke brothers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Them Duke
the 2
boys.
big guys in the red.
What are them Duke boys up to?
Kicking ass and chewing bum. But they had 5 HP left. And they hit me with some move and killed me. And I hadn't saved, and there's no auto saves. So I had to start the entire level over, and I rage quit. And I didn't play for 2 days. And then I loaded it back up, and I lowered the difficulty, and then I went in there and proceeded to beat the rest of E1, which was good. Dude, I'm glad that you recommended mid-level saving to me, because that was just, for some reason, I didn't even fucking think about that. Because I think it's the last level of episode 1, or one of the last levels. You open up that boss gate and you fight the boss and everything, and then you go and hit the thing to think that you're about to leave the level, and another fucking boss comes out, and the second boss came out and one shot me, and I was so mad. I was so mad. So the next time I loaded back in, and we can talk about weapons here in a second, more weapons if you want, but I pulled out the Riveter and just let that first boss fucking have it. And then I went over there and opened up the second one and just started running backwards and let that motherfucker have it too. And I felt so much better about myself.
Those bosses were kind of a spongy. Because I remember, I was happy I got through it with my assault rifle on the first one. But then the second one came out, I was like, oh God, I got to do this with shotguns now because I am out of ammo. I always forgot about the Riveter, which is your rocket launcher, and the grenade launcher weapons. Forgot about them a lot.
The Riveter is definitely the closest thing the game has to a delete this dude weapon.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a rocket launcher. It's like a rocket launcher that fires at a pace of boom, 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 boom.
One of the other weapons that I liked, but in practicality, it's cool, the crossbow. So the crossbow's whole shtick is it can shoot through enemies and it can shoot through walls.
Yes.
But in my experience, the only time you're going to get that motherfucker to shoot through enemies is when you first get it and they drop those 2 lines of enemies down for you to do it. Other than that, good luck lining 2 people up.
The crossbow ends up being super useful in episode 3 because it definitely drops people in ways that line them up on purpose. I hope this isn't a big spoiler, but episode 3 mission 1 only gives you melee and magical weapons. You literally only have the crossbow and the sword if you don't find secrets.
Oh man, that's intense. I do like the sword. Oh, when I came back from my rage quit, I used level select. Have either of you used level select?
No.
Yeah, I was going through to get some achievements. I did do the level select because I did know that the secret level, for instance, for the first episode, you find it in E1, M2, but I didn't know where it was. So I just kept on playing E1, M2 over and over again until I found it, for instance.
Oh, okay. I really appreciated, for one, I didn't know there was a secret level. Now I want to go back and try to find it. But I didn't realize that when you use level select that you can max out all of your weapons and guns and your ammo and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, you can literally select how much of each weapon you want to have.
So I went in max everything and was like, let's get this shit done. And we did. So that was a nice inclusion. Yeah. I almost feel like that might have been for people who were like, God damn it, I just lost all that progress. Now you can jump back in with your stuff and at full health and not feel so bad.
One thing I appreciate about the game was the bosses. Because we kind of mentioned the episode 1 boss, final boss of episode 1 just now. But the other ones in there, the Duke Bros. But my favorite one was probably the first one you stumble on, whose name was the Intoxicator. It's this,
that's right.
It's this alligator that is huge for one thing, and there's just a bunch of beer cans around him, and you're just trying to take him down. He's shooting at you, you're shooting at him. It's just a fun fight.
I don't know if you caught this, by the way, but you can drink the beers in the game and you get 1 morale, but if you drink more than 3, it makes you drunk, and therefore you have screwy, the game kind of whirs around you.
You trying to aim and that motherfucker's going wherever the fuck it wants. Oh, it's rough.
And there's an achievement called Intoxicated you get if you beat the Intoxicator while you have the drunk status.
That's cool. I didn't know that. That's cool. I like that.
That's one of the things I used the level select for earlier today.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Hail. Oh, fuck. What was it? Raise, hail, praise.
Yeah,
I know. It's been a long day. What was your favorite weapon to use? Out of all of them, the one that was your go-to?
So I can't call this the go-to, but I do think it was the GOAT. The reason it wasn't a go-to is because it had a max ammo of, I think, 13, so you couldn't really just hold on to it the whole time. You had to be judicious with it and use it at the right moments. But that hunting rifle did so much work when you had it, man. It's you could one-shot enemies from a very long distance, because if you right-clicked, you got the zoom, which zooms further than any other weapon, and you can just aim away, go pow pow. Those big wizards, when they become regular enemies that are kind of like the Duke Bros, 2 shots from the hunting rifle takes them out. Everything else I was firing at took 1 shot to take down. It was so good. And that's what really helped me get through that into the Thresher level that I mentioned earlier, was using my hunting rifle ammo very, very intelligently.
Yeah. Yeah, you use it. 1 shot takes down a welder, 2 shot takes down a red wizard. So like that seems like those are the guys I was using it on in episode 2, especially.
Yeah. I agree that the best weapon in the game is probably the hunting rifle, but I feel like the one that I used the most was the machine gun. Just, I always had a decent amount of ammo for that, and just go in there and spray and pray.
I feel like the game kept trying to load you up with the assault rifle, and then like it felt like the most it felt like the weapon you would want to go into a room if you didn't know what was going to be in it with, you know?
Yeah, because if you needed to start slinging bullets, you could quickly.
Yeah. Like, if I had to go through a teleporter and I was completely blind about it, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take the assault rifle out and just, this is definitely the best for dealing with any kind of random circumstance.
Yeah, it's like if you don't know what's coming up, it's good just to be able to very quickly pump a lot of bullets out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And, I mean, I think hunting rifle is also the one I was going to say is the one I thought was, like, not only is it great for dealing with enemies at a distance, but it also felt like the best thing for dealing with bosses, just because it dealt very predictable damage as long as your aim was good.
I will say about the hunting rifle too is it's a pretty unique weapon for a boomer shooter FPS like this. Like, Doom didn't have anything like it.
Yeah.
I can't think of another game that has like this, something that's like this well made, that's as close to a sniper rifle type of weapon as it is that is in a boomer shooter. Willie, you might know something better, but like this seemed to be like pretty unique to this game to me.
Yeah, this kind of thing was more something you would expect from a multiplayer type focus game like Quake 3 was Railgun or something like that. But as far as single player repertoires for like these kind of shooters go, this was a really nice addition to that kind of thing. Like, you typically don't get a great long distance weapon in single player shooter campaigns like this.
Let's see. What else would you guys like to cover about this? I don't really know where to go from here.
I just think the aesthetics of this game are really impressive too. I don't remember exactly which level this was. It might have been the second level of E1, where you come out into this field and there's just this old chapel standing there with a stained glass.
E1M3, Old Time Religion. That, I think, is the level that will tell you if you like this game or not.
Like, you get out there, like, the sky is this crimson red. Like, there's that.
The music goes to Andrew Holschutz's just ambient sound. All you hear is, like, crows and this ambient soundtrack at first.
You better believe I shot out every single pane of that stained glass at that chapel. Because, like, you go through the door, and there's just, like, a few wizards in there, and they're just like, man, fuck this. And then that level, is that the same level with the Intoxicator in it? Like, at the end of it?
It is. That is the level that eventually is.
That's such a good level. And then, like, I remember there's, like, graffiti on the walls at times. One that I remember was, like, we traded God for demons. Just all kinds of stuff like that. Like, the aesthetics are so freaking good.
I'm willing to bet.
I want to say E1M3 also has one of my favorite traps in the game, which is you get to this red. I think it's the red key door. It's a door. You get to the front of a building. You're outside. You press the front door of the building when you finally have the key, and instead of the door opening, the ground just opens up beneath you, and you're surrounded by wizards attacking you.
Yeah, that was good.
From above. It's really cool.
Speaking of finding like things written on the walls and stuff, I believe that we all got the achievement "Go Away" for finding a "You aren't supposed to be here, go away" graffiti sign somewhere in a level, which I thought was interesting. I'm like, I like that. You know what I mean? I like when you're like in Portal, when you could find your ways into these little rooms and there'd be things written on the wall for you to read. I appreciate little shit like that, you know? So it was nice to see. Some of the other, like one of the other achievements I got, which I'm not even sure how I got, is Untouchable.
That's when you don't get hit at all during the level.
I didn't get that one.
Well, I'm impressed. I didn't realize I went through a whole level without getting hit. That's cool. I don't know how.
Yeah, I only got that one when I went for the achievement for beating a level on Duskmare difficulty, which is when you die in one shot. And so obviously I did get it because, yeah.
Oh man. So Willie, like,
I wanted to say,
yeah.
I think that one of the things that really got to me too was each level is just this really distinctive place. Like, I think the first chapter of the game, the first episode, is definitely more samey than the rest. Like, episode 1 is more, rural forest cult, but each level has its own personality. But when you get to about the midpoint of the game, I think from E2M4 on, every level is so different from the last thing you've seen that it's like, it is crazy how much different stuff, like every level has a personality. Like the difference between being like inside the terrible machine with all the freaking and grinding motions and motors that are like E2M4 has. Then the next level, I really don't even want to talk about what happens in E2M5 because I think that might be the best level in the game, maybe. Like, that level was incredible. It does something just you don't even begin to expect. And you're all of a sudden getting sent to all these bizarre places, and then nothing is the same again.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Like, I think the level design only gets better throughout the course of the game. Like, I think that it does what Doom wishes it did, which is it sticks the landing. The third chapter is the best.
That's pretty impressive. One small thing about this game that I really appreciated was you get a flashlight.
Yeah.
And when you see the phrase, the fall damaged your flashlight, that is the worst thing in the history
I wanted
of video
to cry.
games.
Luckily, you found one pretty fast after that, but like, God, that flashlight was so helpful. Because, like,
oh, yeah.
Like, you couldn't navigate those dark alleys without it.
No. There was one level in particular that even with the flashlight annoyed the shit out of me, and it was only one level that really like just annoyed me. And it was the layout of it, and it was the
Cuddy Mines,
the mines. Yeah, the mines. That one, I didn't like the layout of that, but that level would have been impossible without a flashlight.
Because there's this one it's really easy to circle around it like 5 times without finding the way you're actually supposed to go. Because I definitely replayed that one earlier today and I had the same experience, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Where I'm like, am I running in fucking circles? I am running in fucking circles. Damn it. Why do I do this to myself?
But I also think that kind of like played up, because that level was definitely one of the earlier horror levels instead of one of the more actiony levels. Because I feel like a couple of the ones before it were like very wide open spaces where you were just like whipping ass. And then that level was like very enclosed, very claustrophobic. And that's also one of the ones right after it introduced a horror type themed monster to the Fork Maiden, which is like the scary little ladies are like, and they start shooting the projectiles
and
at
you. They hit hard.
They hit super
hard, dude. Those bitches. One thing about this game that
I want to say the monsters, man. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to bring up a monster. I got to a point in the game where I don't remember if it was a pop-up or if it was written on the wall or something. It said, "Don't trust your eyes."
Okay, so you did get to E2M2. Fantastic.
And I was like...
There's a text written on the wall that just says, "Don't trust your eyes." And the moment you see that, just tell them, dog. Yeah, just tell them. This scene rules.
All of a sudden, I just started losing HP. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm running around trying to... And this is another spot where I just could not find the little hole in the wall to get out. So I'm just running around, just constantly taking damage. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And finally, I heard something. And was like, and I just turned around and I just fired a rocket and it went boom. And all of a sudden 2 enemies just appeared. And I was like, motherfucker, there was invisible enemies. Okay. That's why you don't trust your eyes, because you can't see them. So you can't trust your eyes. You have to trust your other senses, like hearing.
Yeah, hearing was a big deal for them.
That makes a lot of sense.
Although you can also see them track bloody footprints around. That's what you have to do.
I didn't know that part. I just always went by hearing.
And they interact with physics objects too. So I think you probably would have seen that. They knocked down a couple crates at one point. Yeah. Did you notice that? Yeah. They do interact with physics objects too.
Those things, like...
But yeah, the main thing you're looking for...
So when you shoot them, like, it's just like this... I don't know how else to say it. I know you're not supposed to say this word, but it's like a Wendigo in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, why are you not supposed to say that word? Something I don't know?
No, just religious, and I'm not that religion, so...
Oh, okay. I got you. But yeah, they do have that.
That is actually the name of the monster in the game. Yeah.
They do have that vibe, for sure. So
yeah,
that
there's
would make
supposed to be
sense.
some kind of like skinwalker type thing. I think the DUSK wiki does refer to them as Wendigos.
Hey, Skinwalker.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So, any other monsters stand out? Because like when you first see it, you know it's going to be an enemy, but like there's just the scarecrow sitting there,
Fucking
and you see it, you're like, that thing's going to come alive, and I just know it. So I shot at it, and nothing happened. Shot at it, nothing happened. Walked away. 2 seconds later, hear screech behind me, and I'm like, the scarecrow came to life. God damn it!
And
The first 2 scarecrows you see don't do that, so you're already like looking at every scarecrow, like you know one of these is going to pop up off of it.
Yeah.
I've played a video game before, but then when it does happen, you're like, ah, shit!
yeah, and then he's got
It is genuinely one of the most disturbing enemies.
and he's got the fucking super shotty and does some work with it.
That's also why they can take a lot of damage, and they have a super shotgun.
Yeah, dude. So I tried to keep my distance from them. Like once I'd get them to trigger off, I would just start running backwards and just shooting at them with longer projectile weapons.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You went the serious Sam route. That's what I did at first, and then I started trying to get as close as I could so I could put as much angular distance when they were about to shoot.
is the what were they like a little cow, like demon cow, demon dog things that shot the red balls at you? Those
were weird.
I'm just like, what is?
There's a goat enemy. Apparently, the official name of that is Black Phillip, and that's a reference to the movie The Witch, like the VVITCH, the Vitch, the Witch.
The Vitch.
Apparently, there was a goat in that movie called Black Phillip or whatever. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but that's what their name.
Black Phillip.
I'm just gonna call him Phil from now on.
Good old Phil's.
Call him old BP. No, that we'd have to call him Spill.
God.
Oh.
Ah! Zing! Got 2 eye rolls. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, man.
And then one of the things the game likes to do is just introduce enemies like the boss fight version of them followed by like the little guy version of them. So like there's some more bosses that you'll run into later that you might see again.
Because the little baby intoxicators, like I thought they were rats at first, but they're just little bitty baby gators.
Is that what that is?
I think that's supposed to be a rat. I thought those were
look at it
rats.
closer. That's got to be a baby version of the intoxicator.
It makes sense because a lot of the enemies in the game do have kind of a lizardy shape. I always parse them as rats.
Oh, wait, we have to look that up now because I swear it's a little bitty baby gator.
In any case, that was another situation where I would be taking damage. Like, why am I taking damage? And I'd look down, and there'd be 2 or 3 of those. And I'm like, oh, you little fuckers.
Thump, 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 thump.
Pull out the sickles real quick and just slice them up. When in the main game do you get the sword? Because I saw the sword in multiplayer, but in the main game I always had the sickles.
You can find it in episode 1, but the first time it's non-secret is the beginning of episode 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Here's a picture of the rat. Here's what it looked like. I'm sending it to the group chat. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be a rat.
Oh, that group chat. Man, I swear it's a little baby gator. I don't know.
I can see. I mean, it does have like that long. I mean, it's like 6 polygons.
Yeah.
Is it white and gold or
Like,
black and
the
blue?
low poly look of this game also gives you more like I don't know. I like that for like games that have this horror vibe too, where it's like the less you know about what you're seeing, the more freaky it kind of gets. You know?
Yeah. I know, and two, that kind of like when it almost leaves it up to a slight interpretation. You know what I mean? Where it's like you look at it and you can get the general sense of what it's supposed to be, but then at the same time you're like, oh, but I don't know, something looks off about it. But it's not the uncanny valley off.
No, it's more along the lines of just like it's the Jaws or the shark from Jaws theory, where like the more your imagination fills in, the scarier it is. You know?
Yeah.
Because like you rarely see the shark in Jaws, you know, and what your brain fills in is way scarier than the actual animatronic Muppet puppet you actually see them fight.
Enough that I read the novelization of Jaws one time when I was at my grandma's house. So she just like had this book and we were there for a week. So I read it. And having seen Jaws and then I read that book, I would get afraid. I was a kid. I'd be in my swimming pool in my backyard and just suddenly get filled with anxiety thinking that a shark was going to get me. I know.
Almost about to reinvent the glass shark bit from my brother and me.
The what?
One of the guys from the podcast, my brother and me, also was terrified that he would be attacked by a shark when he was in a swimming pool when he was a kid.
Oh, yeah, dude, it's fucking...
And they did a joke like, you can see the whole school. Doesn't care, he's a glass shark.
And, in Florida, I should have been worried about snakes and alligators and shit in my pool.
Yeah,
no.
right? You got scary ass alligators.
I've literally walked outside my backyard before and lit a blunt, and I heard some movement over in the bushes to my left. And I'm like, oh man. I look over there and I see this thing. I'm like, I was like, man, that's a big snake. And I went over there and no, it was just a baby alligator, probably about 2 feet long. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So I walked in, I go and open my back door and my dad's coming in the front door at the same time. I said, there's an alligator in the backyard. He's like, yeah, funny. And I'm like, no joke. Oh, you're fucking serious? Yes, Dad, there's a fucking alligator in our backyard right now. My mom's asleep. So my dad goes, we walk out there and he looks at it. He goes, son of a bitch. What are we supposed to do? I said, I'm going to go get a towel. No, the fuck you're not. I'm like, dude, I'll just throw the towel over it, grab it. He's like, dude, you are not Steve Irwin. So he called somebody and they were like, yeah, he's probably just looking for water. He'll mosey on. And that was when I learned that alligators can climb fences because he ended up in my backyard is fenced in. And they use their tail to push themselves and climb up. It's fucking wild. Anyway, yeah. Invisible enemies, invisible sharks get you in the swimming pool.
Yes.
I don't remember how we got there. I'm very tired.
Well, the last point that I was curious about how you guys felt about was the multiplayer.
Fun as fuck. I wish we had more people.
Dude. Yeah, if we could get like the whole last Discord in playing that, it'd be a great time. It was fun with 3 people, and it was like all the troll things that you could do. On the last game, I was the absolute worst person in the world. I found the best spot to camp. I had a hunting rifle, and I was just picking Willie and Dalton off as they ran by, and they had no idea where I was.
Yeah, this motherfucker, I started like, when I would get hit, I would just look up and be like, fuck with it. And then I'd get hit again. And eventually I finally looked up and saw where he was at and was like, Nate, you motherfucker. And was able to shoot some return fire.
Yeah, eventually Willie killed me. But
so we were playing the level Erebus Reactor, which has like 5 big glowing towers you can just stand on. And Nate was just like, I'm just going to stand here with a hunting rifle and shoot you assholes.
Not the first time Nate camped that night.
Behavior.
That was not because we called him out for Counter-Strike, and long before that, that was just when he was doing it his best. He was up in the tower like that dude in DC, just like pop, pop. And we're just like, dude, what the? Where are you?
But yeah, like the multiplayer was so much fun. My only complaint with it is like you had to, and maybe this was user error, but I don't think it was. But you had to like leave the lobby to change maps and create a new lobby, so it's kind of annoying. But every time we were able to do it, we did quite a few lobbies, maps, and it was just a lot of fun. Like the maps were based off the levels. Like we did that one level we were talking about earlier with the church, like the steeple. It was just so good.
I have, and it might be because it's more recent in my mind, but like I have more memories of us playing multiplayer than I do of like the levels themselves. And that might have just been because of the fun that I was having while we were sitting there playing it. You know what I mean? But I really enjoyed the multiplayer maps. And I was just thinking to myself, this is a blast with 3 of us, dude. Imagine if we had the 16. Yeah. You know, like, or 10, you know, or, you know, I mean, because there was no teams or anything like that. It was just straight deathmatch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is the one downfall is it doesn't look like there's any kind of co-op type mode or anything like that. So, that would have been fun. But still, the straight deathmatch was really good because it has that, like, Quake-style movement that is just really satisfying.
A quick question. This is random.
The weapons are just good.
The weapons are good. It was, I really enjoyed, the one time that I got you through the wall with the crossbow and you were like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah.
I really did not know that the crossbow actually passed through walls. I only knew it passed through enemies. So I actually did get to use that in the single player game after we did that. And you were right. It sure do pass through walls.
It's so helpful. But would you boys be open to going back and playing like one of the Counter-Strike games one day?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh, sure.
Because I have Condition Zero, I think it's called, which is like, hey, we're going to release single player shit.
Get better soon, dude.
It's single player Counter-Strike as opposed to most Counter-Strike is, bots and things like that. So
yeah, like that'd be kind of interesting to play. 'Cause, like I've never been a big like Counter-Strike or Call of Duty kind of guy, but I'd be willing to give it a shot.
Yeah. See, Counter-Strike to me is like this weird in between, like a Call of Duty and a boomer shooter, because the older Counter-Strikes, they handle very much like, say Quake or something like that would, aiming wise and shooting wise, but you're still grounded in reality. Whereas you're doing, terrorists versus counter-terrorists and things like that. But the real fun, Condition Zero is fun, saving the hostages and all that's great. It is what it is. But like, dude, the real fun in Counter-Strike is getting a group of people together. And honestly, I think if our best bet for our Discord, if we wanted to do that and then get like a community thing going, maybe not for like a normal, but like, for the for the episode, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, CSGO is free.
Gotcha.
And I think they do, the typical free game battle pass and things like that. But all of us would be able to play it for no charge.
Cool.
And that would be cool. And I just think it would be a fun way to get the community in and like actually have where we can play with like 10 people and get in there and fuck shit up. You know what I mean? Willie, we're talking about CSGO.
Nice, yeah.
Just that it's free. And I thought that might be a good way to get the community in on it. Because I honestly, if we were to do Counter-Strike, I think that is one of those that we could cover Counter-Strike in one. Because the games don't really differ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They would just update them and quality of life things. But they really haven't changed formula. So that was just a thought that I had.
You're just a thought.
I mean, you're already...
But that just made me want to play Team Fortress 2 with the squad as well.
I would be down for that. I would be down for that. Did you just call me a thought?
Like you caught that like 30 seconds later.
He did like 35 seconds ago.
Motherfucker. Yeah, is it Arcader that really was like all about wanting us to do Team Fortress? I feel like Arcader was one of our Valve boys. We changed his name in Discord now. I'm still going to call him Arcader though.
I think it's just RK now, yeah.
Yeah, RK. I was like, okay, and I was like, okay. Dolphin noises. So, you guys ready for rating?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right.
I did want to say one more thing real quick, which is just one thing I really love about the level design too, is the secret like hunting in it is so good because it uses like a combination of like Doom style, this texture doesn't match up, go try to use it like a door, and then like Build Engine style, hey, there's a crack in the wall, you can blow it up with an explosive, and Quake style, like moving a little bit weirdly on the map or like going underwater in a place you wouldn't expect to go underwater and all that. And I just thought like each level had a crazy amount of secrets. Like you would really have expected the levels to be more empty or whatever, but I feel like the level design in this game was absolutely peak.
Yeah, it was tremendous. And some of the secrets didn't seem like secrets when I would find them. You know, it would just be like a long hallway, and there would be a hallway to the left, and I would go down the hallway to the left, and there'd be like a crouch, and I'd go through the crouch thing, and it'd be like, you found a secret. And I'm like, really? But then there were other ones where it was like, I ended up somewhere that was a secret. I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't know how I even ended up here.
I can't tell you how many levels I went through. It said, you found 0 out of 7 secrets. Like, there are 7?
Yeah. I was like 0 to 7, 0 to 9 or whatever. And it's like, damn, son. That's a lot.
I feel like the game really just rewards the shit out of like trying to explore, trying to look for secrets and poke at the edges of things, especially if you play on intruder mode and you don't have the weaponry.
Let me tell you what killed me.
Because like,
oh, go ahead.
There's secrets inside of secrets a lot of the time, and it's just really interesting.
I hated finishing a level. Enemies killed 94 out of 97. I'm like, oh my god, where were those last 3? Where could they have possibly been? Probably in a secret.
There were definitely a couple secrets that had like 2 Black Phillips and a cultist or something like that. Like the first level has that.
2 Black Phillips and a cultist, band name called it.
Black Phillips and
where it's at, I got 2 Black Phillips and a cultist mage.
First single called Phillips Head Screwdriver.
Nice.
I feel like actually I don't think they'd be death metal. I feel like they would be like one of those Arctic Monkeys style bands where their name is like irreverent and cool.
Yeah.
All right then. Nate, if you were going to give this game a rating, what would you give it out of 10, my good sir?
Yeah, man, this game's the bee's knees. I really enjoyed it. Like, very few complaints from any perspective on this game. I think it really solidly did what it set out to do, and it's a, you know, the people like to call them Doom clones. This is like the best Quake clone I've ever played. So I am very happy to give this 8.5 baby intoxicators out of 10 intoxicators. They are not rats.
Okay.
Nate, we'll talk about this later.
And Willie, I'll save yours for last since this was your pick. I really enjoyed this. I don't know. Part of me, like, I like boomer shooters, but part of me, like, I don't like fucking love them. But this was one of the better ones that I've played. Absolutely. And I think it might just be that I've played a couple ones that aren't so good. I don't know, but this one, I'm going to give it an 8. I'm going to give it an 8. I really enjoyed it. There were a couple things that I would have liked to have seen differently in it, but that's the style of the game itself. That's not anything on them, because people enjoy that kind of stuff, like the running fast, which again was solvable with a menu thing. It's just me. That's just me, and I admit that. So I'm going to give it 8 cultists out of 10 don't cosplay. All right, what about you, Will?
I think this is one of my favorite video games of all time, and I'm going to give it a straight 10 out of 10.
Wow.
I did not expect to absolutely fucking love this game as much as I did, but when I started playing it, I'm like, okay, I'll play a couple levels of Doom, then I'll play this. I haven't played any Doom in the last week. Just been playing this.
If you're new here, that's wild. Yeah. Wow. All right.
It's perfect to me. Like, I don't think I've been happier with a game in a long time. Like, I thought I would really like it. I didn't expect to love it this much.
That's awesome.
Now, I do have a question for you. You said you like it. You said you love it. Do you
want some more of it?
Want some more of it? God damn it, Nate.
Well, apparently, I mean, there isn't imminent plans for there to be a sequel to this game, but it still is going to be updated more, nice. And they are hoping to bring a co-op mode into it.
We didn't talk about the one thing. Perfect time to bring it up now. You mentioned the developer. You mentioned a sequel. This guy who made this game also made this other game. And I believe it's called what?
Oh, yeah, Iron Lung.
Iron Lung. Very topical. Yeah, because of this disaster thing with the submarine.
The Ocean Gate Titan, yes.
Thank you. I couldn't remember the name of it. The Ocean Gate Titan. The developer came out and said that he felt kind of bad because there's been a spike in sales of his game Iron Lung, where you are trapped in a underwater submersible train.
Oops.
I'm like, and that game came out a few years ago, because I think Matt Barton did an episode on that game, or somebody I watch on YouTube did. But that's just funny. It's terrible, but it's also funny. Oh my goodness. I will say this whole situation reminded me how savage the internet is.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. I mean, the memes have been funny, but holy shit. Like, the internet gives no fucks. Like, they just don't care.
Well, I mean, I think that when they found out that the guy was actively campaigning, like, oh, safety is just holding back innovation, and then they were like, oh, he was on the submarine that he constructed to be unsafe because he didn't believe in safety, and it kersplunked.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Way to build your own coffin, idiot.
Controlling the submarine with a controller you can get at Walmart. Like a video game controller.
Logitech.
Yeah.
Couldn't even get a wired Xbox controller. Homie got a Logitech.
Yeah. It's like I posted a meme. I don't remember if I put it in Discord. I know I posted it on Facebook. I just put Mad Cat Strikes Again.
I know, he's going down into the abyss in his Mad Cat submarine.
Oh, man. But yeah, you know, I thought about making some memes about it and everything, but I just decided, you know what? I'm not going to sink to that level.
Hey.
All right. Let's do our listener question, and then we'll talk about the game that we're going to play next.
Yeah.
And we'll get on.
So we have one question this week. Shout out to our boy Fenris. If you had a chains race potion.
One shot.
If you had a chains race potion, what non-human race from any game would you change into?
Ooh, I have an immediate answer. Like, I'm just going to go with the first one that popped in my head. Blood Elf from World of Warcraft.
All right.
They're cool as shit, but they're horde. And so it's like, for the horde. You got to go, like you don't go against Corpse Grinder. When he tells you for the horde, you listen to Cannibal Corpse lead singer. His neck, he could kill you with his neck.
It's like the prettiest you can be and be in the horde.
Yes, that too. Yeah, you can be a sexy blood elf, and you can go stand next to your cow buddy.
Yeah. I also had an immediate leading. I'm going straight Argonian. I can breathe.
I knew that was going to be your
water,
pick.
and I'm just going to do lizard shit all day long.
And fun fact about Argonians and Elder Scrolls Online, they are the only race that when you drink a potion, it replenishes some of your HP, your stamina, and your MP all at once. Which is very
Sounds
helpful.
Great.
But yeah, the breathing underwater thing, chef's kiss. What would you will?
It's just really good. Did it specify it had to be a player race?
No. Just change race. You gonna be a Cacodemon?
I want to be the Cyber Demon.
I was so close.
Oh, man.
Pablo Willie's going to be like, I want to be John Romero's head.
Okay, to tie this back to the very beginning of the episode, because I remembered wanting to say this then, when we were talking about our New Day FPS boomer shooter.
Yeah.
It would not take much to reskin the Cyber Demon as Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. 100%.
Just give him a stupid ass looking tattoo on his chest.
But we have to code it, right? So you can play as any of the three members of New Day. But if you play as Kofi, you can't beat Brock, right? So if you play as Kofi, you go in there, Brock's just going to kill you in about 8 seconds. We got to keep it true to life.
Kofi Kingston also gets the ability that if he gets killed, he stays at 1% health one time.
Yeah. It was a Royal Rumble.
Make up for his Royal Rumble type. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the payoff. You have to switch characters to kill Brock, but other than that... Oh, tremendous. You can play as Big E, just don't fall on your head. Oh, I miss Big E.
Get well soon, Big E.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. He's the man.
Big meaty men slapping me, as he
one
once
of
said.
the best quotes I've ever heard. I don't want to see no gymnastics. I just want to see two big meaty men slapping me. I think it was, what was he talking about? Brock and Goldberg or something like that. Or something like that. He's just like,
yeah, it was something like
two
that.
big meaty men slapping me, and I'm here for it.
The way he worded it too was like big men with big chests.
Yeah, he said big chest.
Yes.
And Kofi and fucking Xavier are just crying like they can't hold it together. So good, dude. So good. All right. Well, then I guess our next game for the show was the last poll winner, which was Middle Earth. I always want to say Mordor, but it's Middle Earth: Shadows of Mordor, and it was mentioned in the Discord, and I think I've told you guys before. This game is Batman.
Hell yeah! I'm excited for it.
And there is a cool system that starts in this game, but it's expanded on more in the sequel, where there is like this chain of command thing, and there will be vacant spots open if you do certain things. I won't get into it, but there will be vacant spots open. And if you get like killed by a random orc or urk, they can then get that spot because they killed you. And then like when you come and fight them again, they'll be like, oh, I killed you before, Ranger. Welcome back. I'm here to kill you again. Or something along those lines. I don't know. It's going to be super fun. I'm so stoked that actually won.
Heck yeah, man.
And then the next poll winner was Morrowind. So we'll be getting to that in about a month and a half, somewhere around there. But yeah, dude, Shadows of Mordor coming up. I know we have a couple people that are going to be playing along with us, which is just super cool. I'm so happy that people are like now playing along in these games that we play, campaigning for things on the, like, I want to state again how much I love seeing people campaign for things on the poll, because
this one has been so intense too. The current vote between between Duke and Fear has been incredible.
Yeah, and 2 first-person shooters. Like, who would have thought?
Yeah.
I'm hoping the Fear Squad steps up because the Duke Squad has been going crazy. Them Duke boys are going nuts.
Yeah, but they're not getting all the sways they need, dude. Fear's still up by 1. Like, they did sway everyone off all the other votes. Like, Dane doing the Yabs pod thing with Duke made Jeremy change his vote to Duke. But yeah, I don't know, man. I really enjoy seeing it. I like seeing the discourse in Discord. You know, I like seeing you guys interact. It warms the heart, you know, especially since I've been doing this show for 3 fucking years now. It's nice.
Yeah.
Which we forgot to mention. Yeah, the show's 3 years old now.
Happy birthday to TSMP.
We'll do the obligatory Serious Sam episode at some point.
It's old enough to drink in dog years.
Yeah, you're right. Had to do some math in my head.
So let's get some dog beers.
You know what? The fact that I had to do math for that, let's wrap it up. So let me pull up my handy dandy list of things right here. Oh my God, I am batting 1,000 tonight. All right. If you would like to join the Discord, bit.ly/TSMP cord /TSMP Discord, all capital letters. If you want to check out the website, which is now up to date thanks to one Mr. Puzzles Dane himself, bit.ly/The Steam Machine Podcast, capitalized phonetically. If you would like to donate to the Patreon, which I would really appreciate because it helps me pay my insurance and keep the lights on. Very, very much appreciated. Patreon.com/The Steam Machine Podcast, with a special shout out to our listeners who donate $10 or more each and every month. Nate Sir Cogsworth, the 7th of Juniper, Jeff, the original expendable Mr. Syllables, old Jeffy Lube himself, Areser Adam, shout out to his podcast / blog in the Discord, Revival and Extinction, James the Steam Machine Hall, Monitor Hall, Team Retrogue, check him out on YouTube, Mr. Puzzles Dane himself, and Chad, the mad lad with no fucking C in his name, Schaefer.
There is a C in chat,
Shut
actually.
up. There's no C now.
He is now just had.
There's no C in baseball.
If you would, check out Yabs Pod, yet another BS podcast. Also, shout out to JRPG Report. If you want to pick up a shirt or shoes, underwear, anything with our logo on it, tsmpproductions.threadless.com. There's also some cool Yabs Pod merchandise up there as well. And if you would, please go to nilethenightmare.bandcamp.com and check out my new album, The Longing. $4. We'll get that, and that money, I need that money. So please, because they cut hours at work again. Yay! Well, that's a subject for the other podcast. But yeah.
It is very good music to put on leather pants, too.
There you go. There's another quote for the album cover.
Mm-hmm.
This is great music to put on leather pants, too. Willie, again. And leave us a 5-star review on iTunes if you listen, a rating and review. And if you just listen on Spotify, then just leave us a rating. It means a lot. And yeah.
It's also good music to take off leather pants, too.